What we're looking at are the various aspects of this report in terms of the things that we will unearth by going through this report. And the reason I'm actually doing this report is for you to have an appreciation, an understanding of the journey that actually led to this point. So the report is actually broken down into, as it answers these questions or look at these elements within the report. What employers actually ask for in GRC job postings, rank skills for high performing GRC professionals, the ranked list of top skills with employer rationale and assessments. Now, this is the big aspect of this. This is where we are going to be seeing and understanding what those top skills are. But more so, what I've actually done in addition to this is, let me quickly bring this across. We are going to be, and I've actually developed 22 labs filled with various scenarios, tutorials, templates that we are going to be building out. These are labs that I'm going to be sharing with you that aligns with the various skills that they have identified based on the research that I've conducted. So these are the various aspects of this research. So let us look at the actual research. Now, I could have actually gone straight ahead to speak about what I've actually found within this research, but I want to take you on this journey. I want you to see this hands-on, line by line, so that we can actually see what the research is saying and better understand. So when we get to looking at the labs, looking at the various skills that have been identified, then all of this will make more sense. And I'm also going to be sharing this research paper with you so that you can take the time to deep dive. Now, the interesting thing about this research is that the information that I've discovered is actually filled with evidence. So these are citations, these are the various sources that speaks to the credibility of this research. So this is not something that I'm actually making up or just going based on experience only. So let's go. So based on this executive summary, it states that governance, risk, and compliance. And if you are getting into the field of GRC, then you will have a greater appreciation for this. If you are already in this space, then you could possibly fast forward to the next segments in this course in terms of the actual activities. So here we have governance, risk, and compliance roles sit at the connective tissue between business objectives, technology reality, and regulatory assurance expectations. Across industries, employers repeatedly seek GRC professionals who what? Number one, transfer can. So this is what you're looking for. And this is how you want to develop your skill sets. So it does not make any sense for you to say, I want to get into the GRC space when you do not know exactly what it is that employers are seeking. So they need professionals who can, one, translate complex requirements into controls. Okay? And that's where you need to be thinking. So how can I do this? How can I achieve this? That's the thinking. Secondly, professionals who run risk and control processes with credible evidence. And thirdly, those who communicate risk in business terms to drive decisions, not just documentation. And there might be additional insight into this information based on those that are actually looking at this information at this point in time. So one reference as proof for this speaks to Let us look at this article. By simply clicking on control, you'll be able to go right to the source of this documentation, and this is coming straight out of ISACA, which is a credible certification body. So here they look at the GRC analyst, and a governance risk and compliance analyst is responsible for, and this is providing proof of what I'm actually seeing in the research for ensuring compliance with legal standards, and the list goes on. And these are some of the most common technical skills for the GRC analyst roles. According to market employment data, these are the top technical skills required by employers, and these are listed. So these are things that you also want to delve in terms of building your skill set in each of these domains. Okay, awesome. So once we continue it, and then it says that based on a triangulated review of official standards and regulatory guidance, certification, body job practice exam outlines, a structured sample of 28 recent public accessible job postings for security, GRC, compliance, technology risk roles, the most consistently demanded capability clusters were stakeholder communication and influence, compliance frameworks, and audit readiness, technical literacy, which has to do with your cloud, IAM, SDLC concepts, risk assessment, and risk register operations, and control design, mapping or testing. These are some of the key areas that were discovered from this research. And it goes on to say, now this is very important. Hiring and workforce research. Research has two important nuances. First, employers report persistent skill gaps and increased reliance on training, contractors, and rebounding automation or AI to address capacity constraints. So these are the various references as well. The job boards, we have and that's also an additional source. And secondly, durable soft skills in terms of problem solving, collaboration, communication, often rank as high or higher than neurotechnical specialties, even while technical priorities continue to include risk assessment and GRC. Regulatory and standard evolution is actively reshaping the GRC skills demands. Awesome. So the research and approach and data sources, and this report prioritizes primary, quasi-primary sources in the 4 categories. So these are the various categories in terms of how this information was actually derived. Certifications, looking at the regulatory assurances. It says that employer demand signals a structured sample of job postings. So all of this was pulled across 28 different job postings. And it says March 26 capture window, which looks at the tech, the healthcare, the financial services, consulting and operational risk functions, plus workforce hiring research from ISC2, workforce studies. So all of this is actually valid information that now puts you in a better position to ask yourself, what do I need to be doing? What do I need to be building my skill set in? Do I generically garner certifications, or do I have a strategic approach to honing my skills? So that is what we're going to be building out in terms of what employers actually ask for in job postings. So next segment, we're going to be looking at these requirements, what these skills are, and then most importantly, at an high level, we are going to be, let me give you an idea as well. We're going to be looking at these top skills, and I've actually broken down these top 22 skills. That's mastering the top 22 industry skills into 2 segments, part one, part two. So the very first part has to do with those first 11 skills. And then once we get an understanding of what these skills are, then we're going to be looking at what the labs, associated labs, contains for us in terms of having an understanding of how we can actually develop those skills at an high level. So see you in those next segments.